What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing a brand new assistant coach coming to this Chicago Bulls team. It's a quite interesting acquisition, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been seen and viewed, very much with mixed opinions. Some people are loving this acquisition. Some people are really ridiculing this acquisition. We're going to be talking about it a little bit more in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and this new assistant coach that we will be bringing in. Now, I'm going to read it from Woj first because he was the one that broke the news, and here's what it says. ESPN sources, Wes Unseld Jr. has agreed to join the Chicago Bulls as Billy Donovan's top assistant coach. Unseld Jr. spent the past 2+ seasons as the Wizards head coach after 6 years on Michael Malone's Denver staff. So, big interesting news, ladies and gentlemen. We now know who our top assistant coach is going to be. And it's someone we've been linked to in the past. It's someone that has experience. There's a lot of positives in this regard. But look, as I guess my response into why it's been mixed views on this situation, why there is mixed opinions, you're not going to please everybody. You could have made the best signing in the world and you will not please everybody. There's always going to be someone with a different opinion to the one that you have, the one that you want, or even if you don't have an opinion at all, someone's going to come in with their opinion. So people view this terribly. Some people do, because of what he was doing with the Washington Wizards. He had 2 seasons as a head coach for the Wizards, and the Wizards were awful. They were a downright brutal team to watch. And, I'm assuming the players are mostly to blame for that. But, of course, a head coach is going to take the brunt of responsibility. That's how it is with the Bulls today. The players, some of them, really stuck up the joint, and Billy Donovan will get the blame for that as well. Now, again, I'm not going to get into that fire because, trust me, Billy Donovan has his own responsibilities and his own blame to be shared. But that's what I'm trying to say. Head coaches, no matter how good or bad they are, will get a lot of blame and criticism when they lose. And maybe he is responsible, maybe he isn't. I honestly don't know because I do not watch the Washington Wizards. I have heard that he went into the management position for the Wizards and he was awful there. But again, I can't speak on a team that I don't watch in and out. I don't know if he's a bad coach for the Wizards. What I do know is it does tick a lot of boxes for the Chicago Bulls at least. Number one, we get the experience that we are looking for as an assistant coach. This is something we were talking about when we saw guys like Josh Longstaff and Chris Fleming leave the Chicago Bulls. Billy Donovan is seeking a more experienced assistant coaching team and potential to bring in assistants that were former head coaches. That ticks a box right there, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2, he has experience, I believe, with Arturas Karnisovas. He was with Denver's coaching staff for 6+ years, according to Woj. So ultimately, he and Arturas Karnisovas might have crossed paths within that time. So there's obviously a link there, and that's probably why we were linked with him with the head coaching position before Billy Donovan. Speaking of, that's probably the third thing we need to talk about. He was rumored to be the head coach of the Bulls in the past. When we fired Jim Boylan, it was Wes Unseld Jr. that was leading the race for a lot of that time to become the head coach for the Bulls. We got Billy Donovan instead. Again, mixed reviews on that regard. Even then, there was mixed reviews on that regard. Definitely more mixed reviews now. And that was, again, an interesting decision. One that I was okay with at the beginning. Now that we know what it's looking like, be questionable. And that's completely understandable. So, someone that's linked to AK. Someone that has experience. Someone that's been a former head coach. Those ticks a lot of boxes. But there's a personal box, for me at least, that it ticks. And of course, I just have to talk about myself in these types of videos, don't I? But I had a specific box I would have liked ticked, and I think they've done it with this acquisition. For me, at least, Billy Donovan will always be on the hot seat. I can't say the same about the Chicago Bulls management team. They seem to love Billy Donovan, and that's their choice. And they ultimately have the final choice of whether he stays or whether he goes. But for me personally, until Billy Donovan can prove otherwise, I don't think he's the right head coach for the Bulls. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it and shed tears and say some really harsh things to him or anything like that. But that's my opinion. I just don't think he's the right head coach. And I think his job should be in jeopardy. And he's always going to be on the hot seat for me until he can prove otherwise. That's fair enough. I think a lot of people feel the same way. And I like the fact that we've got someone that has experience, that's been an assistant coach, and also been a head coach that could potentially come in and replace Billy Donovan if he ever does get fired or relinquished from his duties as the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. I think this is the perfect acquisition specifically for that. Someone that has links to Taurus Karnisovas, someone that has the experience, someone that has head coaching experience, someone that even has management experience or front office experience, coming into this Bulls team as an assistant coach with, in my eyes at least, the potential to overtake Billy Donovan if Billy Donovan does end up getting fired in the near future. I like that acquisition. I'm not going to lie. Now, in terms of what attributes he could bring to the Bulls, again, you have to keep in mind, I don't necessarily know a whole lot about him. I don't necessarily know a whole lot about coaching staffs in general because I don't watch every single team's and the ins and outs. One thing that I think he's very much known for is his offensive coaching. He seems to be a rather decent offensive-minded coach. As a head coach, obviously with the Wizards, very underwhelming team, not a whole lot of offensive talent there. That might have not shined necessarily. But obviously, in previous experiences and seasons, he has been known as a good offensive coach. But ultimately, I can't tell you the attributes. I really, really can't. Because I don't do enough scouting on head coaches and on assistant coaches to give you a proper answer on that. But that seems to be the biggest thing that has been talked about with him. So, mixed reviews at the end of the day. My thought process is, we wanted us experience, we got experience. There's no more excuses we can give. Billy Donovan can have all the excuses in the world in the sense of maybe he didn't have an experienced assistant coaching staff behind him outside of Maurice Cheeks, or that maybe he didn't, I don't know, maybe the fit wasn't right. I don't know what excuses can be thrown out there, but Billy Donovan has been asking for specific, I guess, assistant coaches, or at least that's what's been rumored. So far, the first one at least, seems to be rather successful. So I believe we need one more assistant coach, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we could focus more on the defensive side of the ball with this next one. But ultimately, wait and see who it's going to be. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. What do you think about Wes Unseld Jr. as an assistant coach for the Bulls? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it I don't care? Or is there something really, really wrong with it that you just have to get off your chest? Have a wonderful and safe day. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.